What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day right now. It is Sunday afternoon. We'll be doing our Zoom call, our standard Sunday Zoom call at 5 o'clock Eastern. If you are a channel member, shout out to you and thank you very much. I will have the link in the description so that way you can join us. And the conversation today is Jerry Jones really as crazy as we think he is? Um, Jerry Jones, I think, likes to trigger us. I think Jerry Jones literally just enjoys wrapping us around his finger and making us dance because he will play with our emotions. And it feels like sometimes that we are just in an abusive relationship with him. And, taking a moment back, taking a step back for a moment, to the conversations that he had with us, where he wants to keep everybody there. You heard him talking about, we want to keep Zeke Elliott and everything else, right? Tony Pollard, we're working on some things with Tony Pollard, but, we may not want to use the tag, but, we'll have to if we do. So, Zeke Elliott, who is a $17 million cap hit, who could potentially be $10.5 million if you make him a post-June 1st cut. He's talked about, we're looking into Dalton Schultz as well, about keeping him and seeing how he'll fit in with the new offense and things. He talks about how the Amari Cooper deal gave us money to do big things, and then he proceeded to tell us that Dak Prescott is basically the reason why we can't put players on the field. And I hate this because so many people believe everything that Jerry Jones says. And it's just not true. I'll give you an example of where we only look at one person getting paid. And mind you, Dak Prescott's salary averages out to $10 million a year throughout his career with the Cowboys. $10 million a year. We've averaged $15 million a year in dead money. Those are contracts that were just screwed up. So let me give you an example of where you should look at beyond Dak Prescott. I want you to think about Tyrone Crawford. Now, I love Tyrone Crawford. I got a lot of flack when 2 years before he was finally done with the Cowboys, I said, you need to look at Tyrone Crawford as a guy who's past his prime. They signed him to a $49 million contract. So for the last 3 seasons of Tyrone Crawford being a Dallas Cowboys player, he got $29 million. Do you know what we got for that $29 million over those 3 years? I want to say 8.5 sacks, 29 tackles, and 6 tackles for loss. For 3 years. $29 million. I want you to think about Lyle Collins, who is $13.8 million in dead money between last year and this year. This year it's $8.5 million. I want you to think about the $6 million dead money for Amari Cooper last year. Not to mention the 2 years of dead money for Jalen Smith. Yeah. It's Jerry Jones's mismanagement that has done this. Now, I get it because Jerry Jones players are like family. Zeke Elliott is like family. Although Zeke Elliott, it's funny how Zeke Elliott is deemed different than Dak Prescott. Zeke Elliott, who literally blew away the running back market. The running back market, way out there. We said we're not going to reset the running back market, and we didn't. We blew it out the water. A guy who is $17 million on the cap, he says he wants to bring back. You don't look at that and say, when you pay a running back, mind you, take a look. Take a look at all these teams that have paid big money on the running back. None of them have won the Super Bowl. The Panthers, Christian McCaffrey. The Titans, with Derrick Henry. New Orleans, Alvin Kamara. Todd Gurley with the Rams. That's the path that Jerry's trying to make with Zeke Elliott. He still says, well, Zeke Elliott is still productive. Jerry, you're living in the past with Emmitt Smith. The dynamics have changed in football, in free agency, and you're still living in the past thinking, all we need is a big back. It's not working with that. And even if you can somehow get Zeke Elliott to cut his pay in half, you still are paying way more than what the Super Bowl teams were for running backs. And that's before you put in another 10 for Tony Pollard. I'm beginning to think, and maybe I'm wrong here, or maybe this is hope against hope, because of all the things we heard from Jerry Jones, is that Jerry Jones really isn't in the loop. He'll sign the checks and have final approval, but I don't know that he is really into it, the day-to-day operation, and really knows what's going on. Now, we're getting a report that's kind of interesting. Dan Graziano, again, everything right now is speculation. Dan Graziano of ESPN reported it would not be surprising if the Cowboys cut Elliott, which could save, as I said, $10.9 million if they make him a post-June 1st. We won't be able to use it till June 1st, but it would save us a whole bunch of money when we go to sign the rookies and so forth. And we are expected to let Dalton Schultz go in free agency. Now, I will say another possibility here, too, and it doesn't necessarily have to be right away, because ultimately the Cowboys would save more money if they also designated Tyron Smith a post-June 1st cut. It won't help you immediately as far as the cap goes, but it gives you time to find out if Terrence Steele is going to be ready. From early reports, Terrence Steele is ahead of schedule and could be ready for training camp, and you're going to need that. I'm not ready for Matt Lewinsky to start or Josh Ball, but I'm beginning to think that Jerry Jones is just out there, just speaking out his ass, and doing so, he is literally messing up the psyche of Cowboy fans. And in the same time, in the same breath, you have a quarterback, as opposed to what's going on right now. Get the great quarterback shuffle going on. Derek Carr, who is, we know the Panthers and the Jets, as well as New Orleans, won him. But allegedly, 2 other teams have also been in the mix trying to get him. You've got the 49ers looking for another quarterback. Jimmy G may be in the plans for the Jets. You got just Baker Mayfield, who Atlanta is thinking about. You got quarterbacks that are just kind of like guys that have done nothing in their career that are bouncing around and still getting paid. We've actually had one that's been stable that we honestly, let's be clear here. It's bullshit that Jerry Jones is saying that, we've put talent around Dak Prescott. The only premier player you put around him, as far as beside the draft, is Amari Cooper. and you didn't hold on to him when you, or replace him when you got rid of him. Even guys like Cedric Wilson who were playing well, nah, they're too expensive. And what really kills me about this is we all know that the salary cap is going to continue to go up. Teams went through last year and they ended up signing guys knowing that we can make it team friendly the first year, buy ourselves some time. Cowboys, nah. Either they're stupid and don't understand the dynamics, or they just have no desire to. And at some point, you can't believe Jerry Jones with this whole thing that nobody wants to win the Super Bowl more than me. That's bullshit. All right, guys. I'll see you guys in about 3.5 hours for our live stream. Peace.